All right, so we got another video for our Adult Dungeons as Child Link series. So first, we have to enter the water temple. But you might ask me, how do we enter the water temple without the iron boots, the Zora tunic, or a hook shot? Well, we utilize this black hole here, which leads us into a grotto. So usually when you walk over the black hole, you get warped into the grotto. But we're going to stand on the very edge of it right here, and we're going to pull out a bomb. And so basically, we're going to let the bomb blast us over the black hole. And because we're dead, we just free fall all the way out of bounds to the bottom, to the pits of hell of Lake Hylia. So we're really far out of bounds, much below Lake Hylia. And so we can swim towards the mountain of Lake Hylia, where the water temple is. And we can access the loading zone from inside the mountain. And luckily, the loading zone actually extends vertically up to the top. Alright, so we don't have iron boots, we don't have Zora tunic, we don't have hook shot. So we gotta get creative. So first, we are going to use this little water spider to help us get to where we need to. We're going to stun him with the boomerang. Then we're going to get into the position here. We're on the very edge of the platform here. And we're going to use the water spider to knock us down right as we cast Din's Fire. And because we're in the casting animation, we just fall through, ignoring the water. Alright, so the infamous Princess or Adult Ruto as Child Link, which is not supposed to be possible. Yes, I am. Vows 7 years ago. 7 years ago. I was like a fetus 7 years ago. I don't even know what she's talking about. Yeah, definitely not the time to talk about this shit, especially when I'm fucking drowning. Okay, let's fast forward this. Yada yada yada. Yeah. Help you. Yes, whatever you want, Your Majesty. Yes, I will help you. Okay, shut up. And we follow her all the way to the top here, where we play the Zelda's Lullaby and we lower the water level. Okay, so here, if we do a precise side hop and jump slash, we just barely make it on this platform right here. And we're actually not supposed to get to this area until much later on in the game, about like halfway through the water temple. And so we get this first key here. And that's really important because we need 2 keys in order to get through the last area to get the boss key. So here we just cast Din's Fire and we kill all these clams. Poor clams. Poor clams aren't fire resistant. Right, so we grab our second key. Now I'm going to do a little cool trick here. A bomb slide, one of my favorite tricks in Ocarina of Time. And we get to this last section here, which leads us to the boss key. So, in this area, we're not supposed to be able to get to the locked door unless we have the long shot, which we're supposed to get much later on in the temple. But with a trick called side flip bomb chew hover, we can get over there. So first we get infinite sword glitch. We have to be facing this way. Okay, so so most sane people would do this trick pause buffered because it's close to frame perfect. But I wanted to be cool and look like Tass, so I didn't. There we go. All right, so I just wanted to explain why this trick works and why it's so difficult. So we're Z-targeting the wall, so we're facing towards the wall, and then we're doing a side roll, and we have to look for the very first frame that Link is about to stand up, and we input a backflip on that frame. So that way, we flip towards the left because the game thinks we're staring to the right, but because I'm still Z-targeting this side, or this wall, we do a backflip towards the left, and then we have to pull out a chew on this frame and shield the damage, and the ISG, the infinite sword glitch, keeps us in place in the air. That's why we maintain this angle facing forward, where we're still able to backflip towards the left. And if you're not frame perfect there, you miss the backflip to the left. You miss the backflip, or you shield the explosion too late and you fall. This room is actually can be hard if you don't know the direction of the water, but it's very easy if you do know how the water works. Okay, so coming up here is there's a room with a whole puzzle, but we can just skip that by doing the perfect back bomb mega flip, and we just barely clear the distance to the other side here. Okay. Coming up here is a really cool trick, probably the coolest trick of the whole video. Alright, so we need to stun the spiders with a Deku Nut so they don't interrupt this glitch we're about to pull off. And we need to use this door here. But first I have to explain to you how these kinds of doors work in Ocarina of Time. As we walk through these kinds of doors, the door closes and then it sets what we call an entrance pointer value. So what that means is basically if you get grabbed by Death Hand, or you fall into a whirlpool, or you void out and die somehow, you get sent back to the last door that you walked through, right? So the last door you walk through is stored in the game's memory. So when we walk through these kinds of doors without the doorknob, Link has to pass the door a certain amount of steps before the door closes on Link. But as you can see here, let's go back a little bit. So I used a bomb, and right as it pushed us backwards, this is the first frame, we got damaged by the bomb, so it knocked us backwards. I opened the door on this frame, and because of that, I don't walk far enough, which triggers the door closing, right? So because of that, the door is left open, and we haven't set our entrance pointer value yet. So we can manipulate that by side hopping here and rolling, and you can hear right after I side rolled, you heard the door shut, right? So that means that the game stored my entrance pointer value right here. Okay, and that will be like facing the wall, and that'll be very important after I void out. So I go to the whirlpool here, and I void out. So So you can see that I spawned right where I manipulated the entrance pointer value. And because Link has a bit of a walking animation forward after he goes through a door, I walk through the wall here and I clip out of bounds. And I'm able to get to this area here, which leads to the boss key. And you're actually not supposed to be able to access this boss key area without the iron boots. So it wouldn't be possible to get to this boss key without this trick. And now we're going to save and restart. So back to the beginning of the temple. Because we lowered the water levels, we have to do a bomb mega flip to get to the platform across. And so straight in front of us is the area to the water temple boss. So we have to do more side flip bomb chew hovers. And I have to do 5 of them here. And voila! So here, if we just back walk to the side, we can dodge all those little buggers that really troll. And I remember it used to give people a lot of trouble. It gave me a lot of trouble back then. Okay, so this was probably the hardest boss to fight as child. Simply because we don't have the hook shot. So we have no way of pulling Morpha to where we need him or it or they to be. So we have to actually manipulate his movements and just hit him with hopefully hit him with a Deku stick. And my sound cut out here for some reason. Sorry about that. Okay, so I skip ahead a little bit because I had to spend a lot of time manipulating where Morpha sets up this little water plasma entity thing. And so I have to manipulate him to be in a position where he's still jumping up and down outside of the water plasma. And it allows us to hit him with our Deku stick. And we pretty much just repeat this. And this boss fight's actually really difficult because if you're not in the right position, sometimes Morpha goes into the water plasma, and then you can't hit Morpha because he's protected by the plasma, and so you can't damage him. And then if you're too far, he starts chasing you around the water. And there we go. Death to Morpha. Yeah, it actually took me a lot longer to beat this boss, but I didn't want to show all that because it was boring and it takes a lot of time. So I cut out a lot of parts. But that's basically essentially how you beat Morpha as Child Link. All right, so like we always do, we have to do the cutscene skip so that the game doesn't crash when we collect the medallion. So, right here, we're just damaging ourselves with bombs. I could actually use the spikes. I didn't even think about that, but whatever. Yeah, so the game can only handle 3 bombs active at one time because the N64's processing power isn't like the game, like this consoles now today. And so we get down to half heart here, and we get into this position here. All right, so now we do this little setup from the platform here, and we want to be right on the very edge of the warp with ocarina items. So here we need to cancel Ocarina of Items on the first frame, which I did right there. Then we need to face forwards, and we need to hold Z and wait until we just pass this platform on the left here. Right there. And now we have the blue warped, and we need one more frame. So we just barely passed the platform here, and we just need one more frame. There it is. And so now we have the blue warp timer where it needs to be, and so we need to get into this corner here. So we side hop and pull out a bomb as it kills us, and then as we're spinning around, it brings the blue camera back into view, and it counts down the rest of the frames to 0, and right as the game over screen takes over. And with the white flash, we spawn back at the beginning of the water temple, and we have our water medallion. There you go, water medallion as Child Link.